What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and oh my gosh, it feels good to be back making videos for you guys. Sorry that I've been gone for the past few weeks, guys. I was kind of doing some stuff. Check me out on Twitter if you want to see kind of what I was doing over the past few weeks, but we are back and it feels good, and I came back at a great time because we've got some huge news on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The 5th fighter in the DLC Fighters Pack 1 has been revealed, and we also got some more details on what we can see in the future from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. We got Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC revealed and a sales update on Astral Chain. So let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. So Byleth, to the pleasure and joy of everyone online, every single Smash Bros. Player or every single Smash Bros. Fan online, Byleth has been revealed for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC character, and I was obviously joking with that if you didn't get my sarcasm. So yes, Byleth is the 5th and final downloadable content character to join Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as part of the $24.99 Fighters Pass Nintendo has announced. The character, well, Sakurai has announced. The character will launch on January 28th this month, so it's coming very soon here, and can also be purchased individually for $5.99. Now, Nintendo also announced a Fighters Pass Volume 2, which will add 6 new downloadable content characters to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate by December 31st, 2021. Now, other newly announced content includes Mii Fighter costumes inspired by Cuphead, Rabbids, Altair from Assassin's Creed, which is just weird, Mega Man X, and Mega Man Battle Network, which are due out on January 28th alongside Byleth. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff that you guys can check out in the description. There'll be more information on the Mii Fighters, the Spirit Boards, new amiibo. There's all sorts of cool stuff, but I did want to go over the Fighters Pass Volume 2 and what information we have on that before I get into my thoughts about Byleth in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, in addition to Byleth's reveal, new details were announced about the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2, which will include 6 more fighters currently under development. By purchasing Fighters Pass Volume 2 for a suggested retail price of $29.99, players will get access to 6 more yet-to-be-announced Challenger packs as they release. Each pack includes 1 new fighter, 1 stage, and multiple music tracks. Those who purchase Fighters Pass Volume 2 will also receive an exclusive costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear with the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Just makes you want to rush out there and go get Fighters Pass Volume 2 because of a Mii Fighter outfit. Now, this will be available in-game starting on January 28th. So let's go ahead and get into this, because this was pretty controversial online when it comes to Smash Brothers. I mean, this is something that I think Sakurai even knew would have some backlash and everything, because in the presentation for Byleth joining, like, a lot of the complaints that people have, a lot of the same, like, verbatim complaints that people have is like, oh, there's always sword fighters, or oh, there's just too many Fire Emblem characters, or oh, there's just complaining about this, or oh, they're complaining about that. Whatever the case is, but those are like the 2 complaints. And with Byleth, like, that was stated in there, right? Like, he kind of like baked it into the presentation about Byleth and how, oh, it's just another sword fighter. Oh, well, it's a bit different this time because Byleth can use multiple different weapons, and it's not just like, oh, well, this is just like one thing here or there. It's like actually using each one of the different forms of the hero's relic that Byleth wields in the game. So you have this big old huge axe, you also have a bow that does attacks in addition to shooting, plus you have that spear as well that has multiple attacks, and each of them have unique properties in terms of what they can do, how to juggle opponents, big strong hits, super armor. So it's not just like a cut and paste, oh, let's just make this a different weapon just because. There's actually different attributes towards each one of those weapons, the hero's relics that Byleth wields. And I'll be honest here, guys, I thought it was going to be something different, but looking at what we're talking about next when it comes to Fire Emblem Three Houses and the DLC and how that's launching mid to early next month, it makes sense that they got Byleth out now at this point than wait till later, because at some point you have to add Byleth. Like, Byleth was going to be into this game just because of how well Fire Emblem Three Houses has done. Like, that game is selling extremely well, and Nintendo wants to push that game even more, which is funny because the sales on Amazon got like a huge boost after Byleth was announced for Super Smash Bros. So that's exactly what Nintendo was trying to do. But my thought process on this, at least if we can kind of deviate just a little bit, is that Nintendo actually shuffled where Byleth was going to be like put in. I think that Byleth might have been part of the Fighters Pass 2, but they just said, you know what, let's just go ahead and get it out now, and the DLC's ready. Let's just go ahead and get this thing going. So they just shuffled it, or it might have been to where Byleth might have been the one before the last reveal, Terry, but they just kind of switched the placing, just because I think that that's just what they wanted to do with the DLC with Fire Emblem, and it's working. People are buying the DLC, people are buying Fire Emblem Three Houses now that Byleth is in the game, because they want to know the origin story and kind of what's going on with the character. But kind of getting back to Byleth and what I think and everything, obviously if you don't know, well, now you're gonna know. I'm a huge Fire Emblem Three Houses fan. It's actually my favorite Fire Emblem game of all time, but I love Fire Emblem, so like I'm not bothered by the amount of Fire Emblem characters in there. I do think that there's opportunities for them to add different types of characters, right? I think that like Rex and Pyra, people are talking about that. Chrono, I mean, there's Travis Touchdown, there's lots of characters like Dante, there's so many other characters that people are suggesting, but I think at the end of the day, like there's no way that you're ever going to make everybody happy, because anytime you announce a character, somebody's just going to be mad that Master Chief didn't get in, or somebody's going to be mad that this character didn't get in, or Chibi Robo didn't get in, or something like that, right? Like, so no matter what you do, there's just like so many different characters out there, so somebody's always going to be mad about something no matter what. And I think that with this Fighters Pass Volume 2, to me, that's what kind of says, okay, well, this is not too bad, at least for me, at least. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan, so obviously, you know, I don't have a problem with Byleth being in, because I love Byleth. I love the different Heroes Relic weapons. I think it's going to create the most fun Fire Emblem character to use in the game, because all the Fire Emblem characters, all you do is pretty much just fair people all day for the most part. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, with like Roy, I mean, obviously you do like jab to like back air or something like that, or even fair, but yeah, like a lot of them are just fairing people, like Lucina, Marth, and that. I mean, Robin's obviously not, but there's a couple fairs in there too. So for me, this one is going to be a very nice character to use, but I do think that like going forward with that Fighters Pass Volume 2, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities. There's going to be a lot of cool characters in that one as well. I think the Fighters Pass Volume 1, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you had Joker, you have Terry, you have Banjo. I mean, you have a lot of cool characters in there. Hero, a lot of popular characters from big franchises, so I think that's going to continue with Fighters Pass Volume 2. But overall, I mean, I think it was, I would say, I mean, I wouldn't say it was split, but there was definitely the hardcore Fire Emblem fans showing up today, man. Like, it was so cool to see all the Fire Emblem fans kind of just like rise up and say, oh, heck yeah, Byleth's in, like with these cool, you know, unique weapons. And like Sakurai even alluded to there being all like males, right? Like with the Fighters Pass, like not enough female characters. Well, here you go. We've got female Byleth in the game too, which is a main character as well. I mean, I know some people talk about what's default is the male or not. It's whatever, man. Like, they're both there. They're both the same character. So it makes sense in that regards. But overall, excited for Fighters Pass Volume 2. I will be pre-purchasing that, be playing each one of them as they drop. I'm excited to play as Byleth. Definitely going to be my main in the game, or one of my mains. I do like Fire Emblem characters, like in Smash Brothers. I use Lucina. I have that as a pocket main, so I'm definitely going to be playing Byleth as well, just because that moveset looked really, really cool. And I know Sakurai put so much time and hard work into these presentations and into making these characters. I mean, the attention to detail on Byleth is absolutely phenomenal. It's like so good, especially if you play Fire Emblem Three Houses. Only Sakurai could do this, man. But I honestly think that Nintendo's really pushing for this one, just because they want to maximize the sales of Fire Emblem. And I think we're going to get a lot more cool characters in the Volume 2 for the Fighters Pass. So what do you guys think about all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, so moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got some Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC that's been revealed. The side story, this comes part of the expansion pass, so we'll go ahead and get into this. So the downloadable content, Cindered Shadows, will launch via the Nintendo eShop on February 13th as part of the game's $24.99 expansion pass Nintendo has announced. Cindered Shadows, players will unearth the secrets beneath the Garrick Mark Monastery and explore the Abyss, which is home to the monastery's secret fourth house, the Ashen Wolves. Fire Emblem Three Houses available now for the Nintendo Switch, and just like I talked about on Amazon, the sales are getting boosted quite a bit. Big sales boost for Fire Emblem Three Houses after the announcement of Byleth for Super Smash Bros. And obviously it kind of coincides with this new DLC with Fire Emblem Cindered Shadows. And I think that the Ashen Wolves, that's a really cool name. I think the designs for the characters are awesome. I absolutely love the designs for the characters. I think it's really cool, and I love how even like with the updates for Fire Emblem Three Houses, they let you kind of go into like the beneath the Garreg Monastery, right, with like Sothis, and you can kind of get some different weapons and items and stuff like that. You can't really explore too much, but they were kind of talking about it quite a bit leading into what was going on here. And there's also some text about it, you know, all the unknowns of underneath Garreg Monastery. So it makes sense that that's where they're gonna have it, and I'm excited to see more, man. I'm really excited to see more with this. It does look really good. There's gonna be some pretty cool new weapons in terms of abilities with the different ones as well, different magic spells and stuff. So I mean, I played so much Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Blue Lions path, while I was gone. I put like 20-30 hours into that, man. So I'm looking forward to tackling this one as well. And of course, I'll be doing streams and gameplay for you guys. So what do you guys think about this, man, when it comes to Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Cindered Shadows expansion, dropping on February 13th? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. We've got some good sales news for Astral Chain on the Nintendo Switch. And some people already dubbed this game a flop and how it needs to not be on the Nintendo Switch and blah, 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 despite them not knowing any types of sales numbers or even Platinum Games or Nintendo saying anything on the matter. Well, now we actually have another little bit of an update. I know Hideki Kamiya talked about it a while ago, saying that it sold well enough, but now Takahisa Tura, who is the producer of the game, he's the guy that pretty much did all the interviews and was playing and was awesome at the game. He says that Astral Chain sales have surpassed expectations at a new Famitsu interview. So this is kind of how it works out, guys, with sales, determine whether a game flop, whatever the case is. They look at the budget of the game. They look at the sales market of the game. They look at maybe where is the market, how many people buy this type of game. Then they set a certain level that they want to sell in order to be profitable and in order to have a good projection. And that's where a game, if it flopped or not, you'll be able to tell, because not every game is made the same. Not every game has the same budget and everything. So wherever their budget was, they set aside a certain number that they wanted to sell in order for the game to be a success or what they wanted to do. And Astral Chain sales, according to Takahisa Tura, has surpassed that expectation already within a number of months since its release mid last year. So I think that's really good. It's really good, and I think it's going to continue to sell. I know there's been some sales on the game recently at certain retailers, and if it ever gets to that spot to where it's consistently, I would say like $39.99, I think that's a great price for people to pick that up after they've got their onslaught of holiday games and everything. And it's kind of winding down a little bit. A lot of the bigger games are getting delayed to later in the year or to April or so, May and all of that. So I think Astral Chain has a fantastic opportunity, especially if there's some discounts here and there, to kind of get some eyes on it at this point, especially with this news here. This game is awesome. It was one of my top 5 games for 2019. It was my second Switch game in terms of what I thought for best games, and it's a really solid, really good game. So go pick up Astral Chain if you haven't already done so. But what are you guys' thoughts on all the different topics here when it comes to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC with Byleth, also the Fighters Pass Vol.2, Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC as well, and of course these Astral Chain good, surpassing expectations sales? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys for the next one. Peace.